Hello, my name is Lacon and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastically whimsical day. And if not, hopefully this video makes your day just a little bit better. So today we're continuing on with our ABC reading videos and we are on to the letter D. Now, if I was to get a D in school, it wouldn't be good, but hopefully these D books are A-tier material. So let's go ahead and grab our books and dive in to today's video. I have them here. I have all the different books that we could be reading in here. Normally I have it in a nice fancy mug, but no mug today, mainly because I'm diamond painting. This is one of my containers that I use to like store different things. And I was just like, I don't want to get up. I forgot the cup. I don't want to get up. So we're using this. It's either this or using the mug that I'm actively drinking out of, you know? And it's not even cute. It's just a plain boring one. So we'll use this. This isn't all of my books that start with the letter D, but it's the ones that I have access to at the moment. And normally my books are pretty divided amongst like where I can get them from, like Hoopla, Libby, the library itself, but not this time. It's pretty much all Hoopla. There's a few from other places, like one or two, but Hoopla is carrying this reading vlog. Not sponsored, but it pretty much should be. So hopefully we can get some good books out of here because life has been kicking me and I just need some happiness, some enjoyment. I've been getting that from diamond painting, but I also want to get it from reading because oftentimes I listen to the audiobooks while I'm at work, and work is just overwhelming. That's not why you're here. You're here to see me pick a book. So we're gonna pick 4 and we'll see how this goes. So the first book we're gonna be reading is this one, which is Dragon Fruit. I don't know why I'm showing you this cover. It's gonna be big up here, but Dragon Fruit. This cover, as soon as I saw it, I was like, don't say anything else. Yes. Hopefully it lives up to the vibes that I feel that it gives off in the cover. So Dragon Fruit by Makia Lucier is a dazzling romantic fantasy inspired by Pacific Islander mythology. I love mythology retellings. Yes. Okay. In the old tales, it was written that an egg of a sea dragon, dragon fruit, holds within its power to undo a person's greatest sorrow. But with all things that offer hope, when hope has gone, a tale came with a warning. Every wish demands a price. Hanali finds solace in studying the majestic sea dragons that roam the Nominee Sea, until one day an encounter with a female dragon offers her what she most desires, a chance to return home and to right a terrible wrong. Reading that, again, I'm pretty sure this vibe check, at least according to the summary, holds out. The cover looks good. The synopsis looks good. Hopefully, the book looks good. Second book. They're all like kind of clumped together, so I need to like separate them. Like, look at that. That's like 20 pages just right there. Second book. Oh, there's 2 here. Which one? Left or right? Right or left? Which one? This one. Don't Cry for Me. I'm gonna really have to, like, after we figure out what all books we're reading, I'm gonna have to, like, read the synopsises. Because I don't know anything about this book. Don't know anything. Just gotta trust my past self that I had good taste when hearing a book and being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like that. Don't Cry for Me by Daniel Black. Just seeing the first sentence, I feel like this book is gonna be emotional. Oh my goodness. As Jacob lies dying, he begins to write a letter to his only son, Isaac. They have not met or spoken in many years, and there are things that Isaac must know. Stories about his ancestral legacy in rural Arkansas that extend back to slavery. Secrets from Jacob's tumultuous relationship with Isaac's mother, and the shame he carries from the dissolution of their family. Tragedies that informed Jacob's role as a father and his reaction to Isaac being gay. But most of all, Jacob must share with Isaac the unspoken truths that reside in his heart. He must give voice to the trauma that Isaac has inherited, and he must create a space for the two to find peace. That sounds like it is gonna be emotional. I don't know if that's exactly what I need right now, but, you know, I'm already in a pretty emotional place. I'll just use this as an excuse, you know, to feel the emotions more fully. The third book. I just want to show you, before we pick the third book, that, like, Mowgli is right here. Say hi. He does not care. But he was, right before I put the camera onto him, he was watching me. So, you know, he's just as intrigued, even though he does not look it. Okay, third book. This one. Oh, there's multiples. Okay, we'll go for this one. Ooh, Dead Silence. I'm super intrigued by that one. Super intrigued. Okay, Dead Silence, written by S.A. Barnes, says Titanic meets The Shining in this sci-fi horror in which a woman and her crew board a decades-lost luxury cruiser and find the wreckage of a nightmare that hasn't yet ended. A ghost ship, a salvage crew, unspeakable horrors. I'm not even going to read the rest of the synopsis, just that, like, top bit. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I remember when people were reading this a lot, and I'm glad that I finally get to read it. And then our last one. Shake it all around. Do the hokey pokey. And we're gonna grab hopefully just one book. I'll even make sure. Yep, one book right here. The lucky last one. Ooh, Death on the Burnt Ocean. Interesting. Okay. This is another book that I just truly went off of vibes. Like, I was like, ooh, that cover looks really good. Death on a Burnt Ocean? Say no more. Death on a Burnt Open is by Peter Watashay, and the description is Jacob Crestel has a nightmare, and it's coming for him. He's escaped his homeland looking for a fresh start. He hoped to leave behind the blood-curdling memories that tortured him in the night, but the murderous nightmare he escaped is now hunting him. Captured by slavers, his and his father's chances of escape virtually disappear. Making use of his wits and what little training he has as a magus, Jacob will have to find a way to save them both. Meanwhile, across the territories, there are rumors of a dark mist creeping down from the north. With it comes a violent death. No one can see the monsters that hide within the fog. No one knows how to kill them. Yet a group of strangers on separate paths refuse to flee. They want to fight, and Jacob may just have the answers they need. Ooh, interesting. Okay. I was trying to think of something to say, but no, that just sounds good. Again, my vibe check, according to the description, has passed. Now we have to actually read the book to see if it truly does pass. So those are the books we're going to be reading in today's video. Which one do you think I'm going to like the most? Or which one do you think I'm going to absolutely hate? Hopefully I don't hate any of them, but I don't know which book I'm going to read first. But this next clip will let you know. Okay, so I haven't started the first book yet, but I figured I would go ahead and let you know because I'm on a little vacation for a Stray Kids concert, which is so very exciting. So we're gonna start with Dead Silence as the first book, and I'm just gonna be listening to it while I chill out here at the hotel, get ready, and then I get to go to a concert. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm saying that. But yeah, so I haven't started the book yet. Don't have any thoughts on it yet, but I'm kind of excited that the first book is going to be Dead Silence. But if I'm being honest, I'm more excited that I get to listen to it as I get ready to go to a concert. Okay, so it's the next day. Concert, amazing. I'll talk about that a little bit and then we'll actually talk about, the book. But the concert, we got there around like 5:36. That's when the doors opened. So we were like, you know what, we'll go ahead and get there then. And also we didn't get there any earlier because it was raining, and like that's whenever the rain was supposed to stop. So us standing outside, we wouldn't get drenched. So we get there, concert doesn't start till like 7:30. We're like, that's plenty of time, We weren't planning on like standing in the merch lines or getting anything. We were just planning on, getting through the gates, sitting down, and then seeing what happens from there. We did not get inside the stadium until like 8:30. Yes, 8:30. Concert started at 7:30. Thankfully, they didn't start the concert at 7:30. They started it at 8, but we were still 30 minutes late, and it was like, we've been to concerts at this stadium before, and they've started around the same time, we've gotten there around the same time, like we've never had issues. But for some reason, with this one specifically, we kept like asking, other people kept asking, like security and other people, like, hey, where are we supposed to go? What are we supposed to be doing? Is there another way that we can enter into the stadium? Because they were just having everybody enter in from one side, like just one side. And then like when people are like, there has to be another entrance, they were like, the security, they were like, the only thing we were told is everyone's in one line. This one line, it felt like we were cattle being like pushed through there. It wasn't a single file line. It was a mob, just like an ocean of people trying to squeeze into like these 3 little scanner checkpoints. And for like a while, they just stopped scanning people through. And this was like as it was getting closer and closer to the time of the concert starting. And so people were like freaking out. I was starting to get really worried. people were fainting because there's so many bodies around and being out in the sun for like hours. It was a lot. It was a mess. I did cry a little bit because of missing the first like three songs of the concert. Missed the first 3 songs. That was frustrating. And then when we were trying to find our seat, we asked one of the people who works there to help us, like one of the people like supposed to be showing you where your seats are, and he sent us to like a completely wrong section. And the concert was already starting, so you know, we're like getting in front of people's ways and all this stuff of trying to find our seats, and we were sent to the wrong spot. It was a cluster. It was such a mess trying to get into this concert. So like, but when we're finally able to get our seats, I just have to like cry. 1, because I'm finally in there, and 2, just from like all of the emotions that I was like bottling up and trying to like, you know, just like all that pressure of just like, am I going to get in? What's going on? Where's my seat? I'm missing the concert. All this other stuff. So I did cry, finally. And it took me like a few songs to really like get into concert mode again from like going from that. But once I did, it was great. The guys are amazing performers. Had such a fun time. Our seats were good. Our seats were not the best. I think if we had gotten like one more section over, we wouldn't have been blocked by the cameramen, because like where the cameramen were sitting, it was like right in front of like where they would be if they were on the edge of the stage, and that's where the guys mostly hung out, was on the edge of the stage. So like I mostly just watched them on the screen, which, you know, I still got to hear them live, which was amazing. But like, I also kind of wanted to see them, even if I can't see them in 4K, because they're like, small, because they're far away from me. Yeah. And then at the ending, they got on their little like carts and came around, and that was like an amazing view. They came up right in front of us. No one was blocking us, so I was able to like wave and say hi. But yeah, concert was great. Even if the beginning of it was a little bit hectic, concert was great. And now on to the book. The book, listened to it while I was getting ready, and so I think I'm like 3 hours into it. Our narrator, or our main character, is essentially telling the story of what happened to her and her crew on this ship to like detectives who don't really believe her. So like that's how we're hearing the story back. And we're discovering that she had something happen in her past that's like kind of unfolding, and like we're getting more and more hints of what's happened in her past when she was like young, and how it's kind of connected to this ship that they've found. So like the ship that they found was like kind of like this like luxury space cruise for the ultra wealthy, and it just kind of vanished and no one knew what happened to it, and they've found it, and it's really ominous. And the imagery of them like looking around this like ship that they thought was like lost for 20 years is like really spooky and eerie and like menacing, even though like nothing is like happening yet, but we are getting like hints of like obviously something did happen to her and her crew. Obviously something is going to happen, and so like you're just getting that like nice tense build up. It's laying the really good solid groundwork for this book. So I'm really interested to keep reading it. I'll go ahead and get back into reading it, and hopefully I'll come back with some answers for us both. What in the world is happening? What is going on? I'm about 60% of the way through the book, and this book has been wild so far. Like, I've actually gotten a little spooked with it, especially because, like, while I've been listening to a good portion of this book, I've been organizing like different rooms in my house, and I'll just like stop organizing so that way I'm not making any noise as I just like sit there and I'm like, what's gonna happen? Oh, what's gonna happen? So we know half of the story of what happened, and now we're getting to the part where we're gonna figure out either what really happened with like maybe her memories were bad or not reliable, or we're gonna just figure out the rest of it. I'm very interested. I'm gonna hopefully finish listening to it today while I'm at work, which might be not the best thing if I keep having to start and stop stuff like I was whenever I was organizing. But you know, I need to know what is happening with that ship, because there is obviously something that the corporation is not telling her about the ship, and I need to know what it is. Okay, so I finished Dead Silence, and the ending was not it. The ending was not, it didn't do it for me. It was kind of a letdown, if I do say so myself. Mowgli, do you agree? Do you agree? He doesn't care. But like I say, it was a letdown, but also if I think about where I would have wanted it to go, it like there's no other way for it to go. Like, I don't know what I wanted, but it just wasn't this. And I think the main thing is because it felt like the vibes were very on par the first 80% of the book. Like, it was spooky, it was genuinely scary at times, and it had tension. And then at the big climax, there was none of that. It just kind of like all of a sudden everything just went flat and dull and no vibes, nothing. It was good. I think I ended up giving it, because I'm starting to do this whole like, what am I rating the characters? What am I rating the plot? The emotions I'm feeling, the ending, or like the romance, or like different, I'm rating different segments and then putting that number together to get my rating, so that way it's easier for other people to understand where my rating came from. Because if I'm like, the characters and the plot was great, but there was no vibes, and the ending fell flat, they'll know that going into it, without like giving spoilers. So and it's honestly been kind of right with how like I feel about a book. Like I was thinking this is like a 3-star book, and I think it comes out to a 3.5 with like when I put all the stuff into the calculator. Yeah. It was a fine book. It just, the beginning was more fun. First off, ignore the hair. Ignore all this. When I took a shower, and I just didn't think about it and didn't set my bangs. So they're like stuck back here. Like if I try to pull my bangs down, it looks like that. So, you know, we're stuck with this like weird slick back look. But I wanted to talk about, I started Don't Cry for Me, and it feels very, like, it's not written in verse, but it feels like it is. It's very melodious or methodical. I don't know how to say it, but it just has a nice cadence to it, and it's very pleasing to listen to. Like, the topic that it's discussing, like, this father writing a letter to his son that he's been estranged from for years, and essentially is telling him his life story and how he regrets being estranged, but how he didn't know how to fix it and all this stuff. Very heavy topic. It doesn't feel heavy to listen to. It feels very pleasant to listen to, which is kind of surprising. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Really, really enjoying it. I don't know if this is fiction or nonfiction. It kind of feels like it's fiction, but from the author's like personal experience. Yeah, like it feels very true. If someone told me this was nonfiction, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm pretty sure it's fiction. It's just very heavily, it could super heavily be based off of his personal experience with his own father, like the author, or it could just be, you know, some amazing story writing that he came up with, and I don't know. Either way, so far so good. Okay, so I'm like 50% of the way through this book, maybe 60, somewhere around there. And this book is perfectly encapsulating, like, you can't make excuses. Like, what this father has done and how he's treated his son is not excusable, but understanding his past and how he navigates and sees the world doesn't make it okay, but makes it understandable to where, like, it's like, okay, still not okay, but I get it. And I can come at you with more empathy as human to human versus coming at it from victim to perpetrator. I think this book is doing a very good job about that. It has a lot of similarities with like my own relationship with my dad. It's very interesting. Like, this isn't my story, you know, but there's just aspects of it where it's like, oh yeah, that's my dad right there. That's me and my dad. And so just seeing it within this story is also kind of helping me to like humanize my own father, even though this is not his story. This is not the reasons that he acts and does the things that he does. But a lot of this is how a man acts. This is what a man does. Gendering stuff that doesn't need to be gendered. Very reminiscent. Very understanding. So, I'm gonna go back. I'm on break right now. But I'm gonna go back to work. And I'm also gonna go back to continue reading and listening to this book. Editing Lacon here. So I filmed this all the way back in like June, I'm surprised this is the only clip I'm missing. I don't have my final thoughts of Don't Cry For Me. I don't know where the clip went. I don't know what happened to it. But honestly, I'm shocked that this is the only clip that has gone missing. Or if there has been another clip that's gone missing, it doesn't affect the flow of me talking about these books. But Don't Cry For Me by Daniel Black, I ended up giving it a 4.5. I loved this book. I thought it was so well written, so beautifully written. Like I said before in earlier clips, this, even though this is not the exact type of relationship I have with my dad, like I'm not a gay son who is estranged from my father, I don't have the best relationship with my father, and so there were lots of elements that I could see within my own experience, and this book gave me a lot of empathy towards my own dad, as seeing him more like a human than just how I was viewing him originally. So this book, the ending was well done, well written, but also like I really wanted these two characters to like make amends, and that doesn't necessarily happen. But, and while I want that so much for these characters because I grew to really love and care for these characters and I just want the best for them, I know that that's not always how things work out, and it was a little disappointing that the ending didn't go the way I wanted, but I was just as happy. Like, the book was just so good. I don't really have that many complaints for this book. So I highly recommend reading this. This would probably be the book I recommend the most out of all four of these. I've been making some paper, and my first batch, I made paper like a long time ago and it didn't work out, but I still had the supplies, so I tried again, and this stuff is way thinner than what I had before, so that's great. It looks like real paper. It's a little bit flimsy, like I feel like I could like easily rip this, but it's paper. I made some more today that is drying over there. I'm taking advantage of the heat advisory by allowing my paper to dry real quick. The next time I update you, it'll be more about the dragon fruit book. I've started it, but I'm like maybe like 30 minutes into it, so I don't really have any thoughts yet. Okay, so we're now a little bit further into dragon fruit. Maybe 30%, something along those lines. So the dragon fruit itself is not dragon fruit, like the fruit. it's dragon eggs. And now that I know that, and the thought of them eating them to gain a wish, it's so sad. Like, I know that I eat eggs. Probably most of us eat eggs. But usually those chicken eggs that we eat don't have a chicken inside them. It's fine. It doesn't happen often because apparently it's really rare in the story for, like, dragons to lay eggs or to... Yeah, lay eggs. That would be the proper term. But if you eat it, you'll get your greatest wish. But because you took something from the dragons, essentially the gods will take something from you. It's very interesting so far, but our main character is very sympathetic to dragons, which is probably a good thing. I don't know if I could be able to handle a book where, like, the main character is not sympathetic to the animal, even if they're still, like, hunting it, still, like, you know, being respectful of the animal. But no, we're very sympathetic, and it's kind of, we witnessed a dragon death pretty early on, and it's very sad, very sad. But other than that, the book is going really well. We've met the bat. The bat on the poster, or not the poster, the book cover, and we've met the bat's owner, and turns out the bat is like, so you know how in Moana the grandmother is like, hopefully I come back as the stingray, otherwise I chose the wrong tattoo, and then, like, the grandmother does end up turning into a stingray. And then also how Maui's tattoos, like, hit the little Maui tattooed on him, like, moves around, does different things, and all that, like, is animated on, but it's still tattoo form. It kind of, like, mixes those two together, where, like, Fatu, that's the bat's name, he's a tattoo, and he can move around on the skin, be bigger, be smaller, you know. But he can also, like, come off and become a real bat and, like, do things and different things like that. And he can get, like, super big and things like that. So it's really cool. The bat on the poster was super intriguing. And the bat in the book did not disappoint. I finished Dragon Fruit. I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna give it. I definitely enjoyed the book. It was a lot of fun, and I like the direction that it went. Like, it was more so of, like, trying to find these eggs, but then also trying to subvert, like, get the eggs to get the wish, but then subvert the having to pay that price. And I like how the getting around that happened. I think it was very clever and fit well within, like, the rest of the story. Was it a little bit convenient? Yeah, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it worked. I don't know. There's not, like, a bunch to really talk about this book with. Like, it was good. I enjoyed it. But, like, it's not really a standout book. It's more of, like, a, that was fun. And if someone is like, hey, I'm interested in reading this, I'd be like, yeah, definitely read that. Totally, you should read that. But I'm not gonna be, like, telling people to read it unprompted, or I don't know. It's not going to be a favorite book of the year, you know, but it was fun. I will say, without getting any spoilers, he sees himself on the camera. Who's that? Who's that? And without getting any spoilers, I can't believe that happened to Fatu. The bat broke my heart. Fatu, I love you. You're a cutie, sweetie pie of a bat. And honestly, you were the star of the show. Come on. You can't keep going up there. But yeah, with that being said, it's time to start our last book, Death on a Burnt Ocean. I think that's what it's called. I have no clue what this book is about. Something about like a guy having to run from his nightmares, but they keep chasing him. And obviously it has a ship on the cover. And the title sounds wicked cool. So that's all I know. So let's see how it goes. I started reading Death on a Burnt Ocean, and I'm an hour into it, and I'm DNFing it. My husband will be so proud of me. He DNFs things all the time. He'll sometimes DNF stuff 3 minutes into a book, and he's like, yeah, no. But I listened to it for an hour, and I just, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. So we're DNFing it. We're DNFing it for 2 reasons. One, it says it's book 1, but how it starts off, it sounds like there's like a whole nother series I have to read before reading this. Like, it just sounds like there's other stuff that has gone on and they're acting like I should know what's going on. So that's not great. Don't want to be confused. And 2, the book is it feels very high fantasy, like how it was talking, how it was doing things. It was confusing, and it just seems like the type of fantasy that's not for me. I was already starting to like get glazed over eyes and just like having a really hard time focusing in on the story. So I was like, you know what, I could push through, because like I could do it, but I'm not going to. And so then I was like, okay, well, am I gonna find another story that can fit this D slot since I DNF'd this book? But ultimately I decided that no, this counts. These are my 4 books, and just one of the 4 books I DNF'd. So that has to really bring down the average rating for the Ds. I don't know what the average rating is. I'm going to put it up on the screen now, but I just have a feeling that that's going to tank it. So it definitely did not beat the Cs. And I'm assuming it didn't beat A or B. Maybe it beat A. So we read some decent stuff, and obviously this DNF was not what I was looking for, but I've been like intentionally setting aside time to like do stuff, and I've felt outside of work, felt really fulfilled for the most part throughout this thing. So I think we're figuring out where we need to go. I think it's all coming together, and I'm really happy about that. So thank you for hanging out with me as we read some D books for our ABC reading challenge. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books, or if you read some books that start with the letter D recently. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I also hope that the next book you read is a 5-star read. And don't forget to like and subscribe so that way you know when the next video comes out, whether it is the e-reading vlog or another reading video. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again hopefully soon. Bye!